Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Y'all, I got a surprise. You guys. Anyway, y'all, let's get into this. Y'all, Tony Busby did an emergency. Listen, there's so much going on right now in the Sean Diddy Combs case. D- Tony Busby filed a lawsuit yesterday. We have the full legal documents about what happened at City College, right? And what happened at City College, what happened with the stampede, and the fact that Diddy allegedly did something to someone in the chaos of the stampede. However, Diddy's team is freaking out. Why? Because this is a certified emergency. If this can be proven, and again, Busby says he has receipts, we'll talk about that later. If this can be proven, this means certifiably that the FBI the Department of Homeland Security investigation will actually it will actually move forward, okay? Will actually move forward. You guys, this is actually huge. And I wanted to be the first one to come here and bring you guys a tea to see what's actually good. Okay, so let's actually get this. Let's get this into this, okay? First of all, really quick, before we get into the legal documents, I have a little housekeeping to do. It is very important, don't you know? Just to let you guys know, I know, I'm just going to in a second. Give me a second. I did get featured in a write up for the Hollywood Reporter. It was wrote by Shirley Halperin. It shows how, baby, YouTube, TikTok, as long as it's around, and Instagram are well, take the Instagram out of YouTube and TikTok are the future for how a lot of investigations, news, and whatever. Okay. It's a really great write up. I put the link in my description box. If you haven't clicked on the link and just given the article a quick read, you will love it. It also goes into deep dive analysis and how YouTube is the future. Also, really quick, Tiffany Red. You guys know that I had her. On my channel. The reason I'm bringing this up is, you guys, I have three creators. Really quick, I just want to go over them that I want to support. It is Christmas, kind of close to 12 days of Christmas. You guys, email me if you have anything, whether it's a product, a article, a channel that you would like me to spotlight. Because you guys have been so great pouring into me, I want to highlight and pour into a lot of different creators. I really think there's enough room for everybody. I would say at the top, but I haven't even made it to the top. There's enough room for everybody. Wherever I am, it's at the top, or wherever you think I am. I do believe there is enough room for everybody in this creator sphere. And I really want to pour in and highlight other creators the same way when I first started, a lot of creators poured in and highlighted me. Okay, so this is my Christmas gift I'm giving my subscribers. You don't even got to be a subscriber, but I will pour in. Email me or DM me on Instagram. Most likely email me, tisatells@gmail.com, if you want me to focus on anything. I want to focus really quick on Tiffany Red. We have been going so much with the Diddy, with the Jay-Z, with the Tony Busby. Everybody has been screaming for ethics in the music industry. We want the talent without the evil. Tiffany Red, as you know, she is the founder of the 100%ers. The 100%ers literally is for ethical music. You guys, there's the Instagram page. Also, there is a link to their actual website. They are having a fundraising goal for 2025 of 500K. And you know me, always put my money where my mouth is. I gave a donation of 500. But even if you just want to go sign up to the Instagram page and support them, that would be great. Also, I have been cooking a lot. Lola Yt, quick, easy, delicious recipes. Yes, I think I can cook. I just tried not to make a habit of it, but I stumbled on this young lady's cooking channel and I'm in love with it. She does like lo-fi, soothing cooking, but her recipes are actually really, really good. So if you're into cooking, it's something that I've been enjoying. I think I did her one pot Mediterranean dish, one pot Mediterranean cod. That was really, really good. If you're into cooking channels, again, please support her channel. I fell upon her. She did an 8-hour relaxing cooking compilation. I am on a fitness journey, so I actually like watching cooking videos in the background while I'm getting dressed, researching, or whatever. And also, I fell into this. I have you guys know I started in reality TV. Kind of watch Married to Medicine here and there, but there is this channel, Sweet Tea. She does recaps for Married to Medicine. Apparently, I didn't realize that she is a cast member of Married to Medicine, but she's also really funny. So these are creators that I've been watching for the last 2 days that I thought I'd share for you. The links are in my description box. Go ahead and support if you're interested in any of this. Again, none of this is sponsored. I'm not doing this for any promo. They don't even know I'm doing this mess. I don't think anyone except for Tiffany Red in passing actually knows me. So again, this isn't promo. This isn't promotion. It's just the fact that I want to start highlighting um creators until the end of the year and into the first. Okay, so if you guys have anything you want me to highlight, please email me. I'll give it a glance, and if I can, I'll definitely highlight. Okay, now that being said, let's get into the Tony Busby Diddy stuff and this emergency filing. Okay, why is this so Oh, thank you. And B has also linked their channels in the chat as well. So if you want to support, but please go read that article about me. That ain't sponsored either, but baby, if we can get this little choo-choo running, it's gonna pay the bills. Anyway, y'all, listen. At the end of the day, why is this so important? Because when we go in with Diddy, the investigation is only going back to 2008-ish. Now, the thing is, one of the reasons why Diddy is rushing. Let me put myself on a big screen. One of the reasons why Diddy is rushing for a speedy trial where everybody's like, yo, Diddy, slow down. It'd actually be a little bit better if you slowed this down because you were going against the American government. And baby, that when they swing, they never miss. Okay. But one of the things that Mark Agnafilio, Yana, we ask this trial move forward. Why? Because the quicker they go, they know that if they go up against the government, they're probably going to lose. They know the best chance they have that Diddy cannot die in jail is spend the rest of his days in jail. The best chance that they have is to rush this forward because the quicker they move this case along, the less chance the federal government will have to investigate crimes prior to 2008. According to Tony Busby, Tyrone Blackburn, I believe even Douglas Wigdor, there are crimes that happened before 2008. Oddly enough, the streets are saying that there are a bunch of people that are still in settlement talks with Diddy. I'm just going to tell y'all going to have to get lawyers because Diddy don't like to pay. Y'all going to have to get some lawyers, right? But there are people, or you're going to have to file lawsuits that are in settlement talks with Diddy because for the lawsuits, we know there is an underbelly of other stuff that people are like, listen, I don't have 100% evidence, but we both know it happened. I don't want to be embarrassed. Why don't you just settle with me and we'll call it a day? Again, I would say to everybody that's doing that, if Diddy didn't want to settle with Cassie, I very much doubt that Diddy would actually settle with anybody outside of outside. If he didn't settle with Cassie and Cassie had the strongest suit, if he didn't settle with Little Rod for 50,000, if he didn't settle for anyone, I'm fairly certain he ain't settling with anybody that has half the proof that Cassie might. Okay. So Diddy has been shaken. There's so much stuff that he did before the Me Too movement, before he was Diddy, but when he still had those same appetites, people are saying they are alleging. Diddy thinks that if he gives the government more time, that they will have more time to investigate before. Don't forget when it comes to Diddy, Diddy was supposed to still be on the street. Everybody was screaming at the federal government, when's it happening? When's it happening? When are you arresting this man? They were chilling because they were like, we are going through 2 decades of evidence. We're trying to preserve evidence. We're trying to talk to people. The only reason that they actually arrested Diddy is because Diddy saw what they were doing. Him and his lawyers got on some bully stuff, in my opinion, and they were trying to quiet the playing field. That's how Diddy has gotten away with this for 30 years. Again, seems like history is repeating itself. By Tony Busby dropping this lawsuit, he's sending 2 messages. One, baby, the emergency filing of this lawsuit was sending 2 very important messages. One, he's not going to be stopped. I'm not saying Jay-Z and Diddy are working together, but it seems like they have a common enemy in Busby. And it has not escaped my attention that if they take Busby down, they will take down the bulk of the lawsuits against Diddy. Okay. Now, if Tony Busby goes down, Tony Busby has sent a message by filing this. The message is, I'm going nowhere. And as much as y'all want to scream and yell about anything I did in the past, baby, we are looking toward the future. It was a promise. It was a threat. It was a warning. Again, everybody is playing chess, and I really don't know where things are going to end, except for the fact that Diddy ain't getting out. Once the federal government has you in their sights, you are not going to get out, even on appeals. However, by rushing the federal government and restricting how far back they can investigate, that means that whatever charges they would have bought are going to be a lot less, which means that the sentences that you're looking at are going to be less than you would have been looking at. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, this is going back to 1991. Busby swears he has information. I do believe Busby is sharing this with the federal prosecutors. If this is true, this blows the lid off of everything. Again, if anybody has any information, if anybody has a story they want to share, can y'all hear me? Wait, there's no sound? Can you guys hear me now? You guys can hear me now, right? It's not again, but y'all calm down. Let's see. Let's see. No sound. Mute, 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 mute. Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Okay, you can hear me now. All right. It's a new microphone. Y'all always complain about the microphone. I got one, but now I don't know how to use it. Anyway, y'all, let's get into this, right? So it's 1-877. Thank you guys. Thank you, B. So it's 1-877 for HSI. Let me just get my connect. 1-877 for HSI TIP. We are literally going into a new thing that if you say you have evidence, but you're not sharing it with the federal government, in my mind, and again, you're either lying or you're working for the ops. That's just where I am in 2025. You're either sharing it, you're either working with the ops, you don't have it, right? Or you're lying about having it, because why would you have evidence and not want to share it with the people that actually need it? It's not like you're being quiet and staying in the shadows and you don't want nothing to happen to you. You're just saying you have evidence that you're not going to share. Okay. Anyway, y'all, let's get into these legal papers. You know, I grabbed them. There's a lot in these legal filings. I could just keep on talking about it, but let's actually get into these legal filings and analyze them and actually see what is going on. All right. So let's get into this, right? Uh who said this? Foxy Nyla. What's up, Nyla? Foxy Nylon said, Diddy's money, I'm sure he has to pay his attorney somehow. A lot of people say he has his money in his mama's name. This is true. He does have his money in the mama's name. He actually has a lot of businesses in his mama's name. He has businesses in his kid's name. However, that type of mess only works if you're not being sued by the federal government, okay? What does that mean? There's something called piercing the corporate veil. People look at corporations as people too. It was done through the Hobby Lobby case. Corporations are considered people too under the law. What does that mean? It means you are considered an entity separate from yourself. So if I have a corporation and I pay myself, right? That's not running a scam or anything. It's the corporation, which is its own body, paying another person, which is me. However, that is a privilege, not a right. They have something called piercing the corporate veil, which means if you can show that the corporation is not running as a separate entity, it is just a shell where the true management, the true nature of it is something that was set up to avoid tax liability or legal liability, then you can pierce the corporate veil. And when you pierce the corporate veil, you look through all of the pretense the corporation has set up so to mislead, to trick, whatever, and you can get to the core of who actually owns the corporation and who's actually running the corporation. Again, Diddy do got money in his mama's name, for sure. Diddy got money in his mama's name, for sure. He got corporations in his kids' names. However, when the feds actually come for Diddy, they will look through all that and they will see who's the person funding it, who's the person calling the shots, who's the person running it. Whoever that is, which many people say it's Diddy, then that means that if you go after them for any monies owed, when you pierce that corporate veil, that money will be a part of Diddy's judgments too. Again, it's easy to set up a corporation, but if you don't run it like a corporation, completely separate from you, then at the end of the day, the corporation does not have the legal and tax protections that most people think it does. So Diddy thinks he's slick, but the federal government are going to rip through that too. Also, I want to say thank you so much to Trish Bronstein for becoming a member. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much, Trish. Oh, I love your Abby. I appreciate that, Trish. Thank you. Okay, let's get into this. All right. All right, you guys. This is a couple of pages. It's a Buzzbee special. It's only 19 pages, so we can get through this no problem. And then we're going to talk about a few other things or not. Anyway, right? The intro. Should I do the Tony Busby voice? Should I do this in my Tony? Okay, I'm going to do it in a Tony Busby voice. This case seeks compensatory and punitive damages for a violent sexual assault. The conduct described herein is shockingly typical of how defendant Sean Combs conducted himself for many years. Many individuals and entities facilitated and conspired with this abhorrent conduct. Sean Combs believed he was above the law. He is not. For decades, Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, PD, and aka Love. Busby forgot Brother Love. Abubu, Mololo, rape, assaulted, threatened, and coerced men, women, minors, and others. Wait, men, women, minors, and others. Who's others besides men, women, and minors? Ain't that everybody? Okay. I mean, unless you identify as completely non-binary, maybe that's what it is. There are people that just say they're non-binary that he assaulted too. For sexual gratification, to assert dominance, and to conceal his abhorrent conduct. He accomplished these acts by and through a criminal enterprise built on. Okay. Hello? What about now? The sound is working. This thing just keeps going on and off. I hate this mic. Okay, bye. Okay, you can hear it now. Thank you so much. Okay, so it's a new mic, y'all. Let me get used to it. I think I hate this mic all over. Let me see if I can lock it. Anyway, right? Okay, so they're saying that the term others in the phrase men, women, children, others generally refers to other humans. But it could be referring to elderly individuals or those with non-binary identities. However, there are exceptions where others might include animals or non-human entities. Oh, oh wow. Uh, okay, listen, I'm getting away from that. Let's get back into this, right? Let's get back into this. All right. Okay, so I was checking to be like, could his last statement of men, women, minors, and others be referring to non humans? They said most likely in that term, he's referring to humans, but there is a chance that he could be referring to non humans. I do want to say in the clapback, to Jay-Z and Alex Sparrow, we cited case law, Palooza, and the Archdiocese. I know it was widely speculated that I was making it up. It wouldn't happen and the case was going to be dismissed and all this stuff. I just want to say to everybody that talk trash, baby, I hope you feel stupid now because Tony Busby in the response actually cited the same case law for Pelosi Day Archdiocese, the same precedent Rule 11 precedents. And literally, so again, I'm not saying that Busby was watching the live. I am saying that everything we said into the live last Friday about Busby's next move and what he should do, we were spot on tattletales. And Busby even used that to save the case and get it forward. I'm just saying. When- Okay, there we go. Listen, are we good? All right. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying, listen, I'm just saying, there's a lot of naysayers, but baby, did we not cite Palooza v. Archdiocese? Did we not? The first to be like, yo, it's second appellate. New York State, second appellate. It is not binding, but it's very persuasive. Did we not say that it just needs to be plausible? Did we not say all that stuff? So, as much as people want to pick apart, baby, the proof is there. Baby, we giving blogging a good name. Anyway, y'all, let's get into this, right? He did this to assert his dominance, to conceal his abhorrent conduct. He accomplished these acts by and through a criminal enterprise built on his success as a rapper, record producer, and record executive. Combs is one of the wealthiest musical artists in the world. Behind the facade, okay? Behind the facade of being a three-time Grammy Award winner, also BET Lifetime Achievement Award, discovering and developing multiple famous music artists, and ranking on Forbes' list of the highest paid entertainers in the world. This is something sinister. Busby, we know that you are from Texas, but baby, you got to start putting in the BET Lifetime Achievement Awards. I'm just saying, if you're trying to like talk to the jury, talk to the jury. A dark underbelly of crime, sex trafficking, and forced labor, kidnapping, bribery, and prostituting. Combs is a menace to society, women, and children. I think we were the first ones to say that he's a straight menace. While his wealth has kept him above consequences for years, Combs now faces an awesome power of the American judicial system and ultimately a jury of his peers who will be asked to punish him for the deplorable conduct described herein. Now, let me just also say this before we get back into legal docs. I find it funny that when Busby said that he was just dropping this lawsuit and he's letting it speak for itself, after the onslaught from Alex Sparrow, the media has been largely very, very quiet on this case. However, they've been running who is it? Buzzbees drunk driving pic where he looks sad, scared, confused, happy to be there and pondering all at the same time. And he got that alcoholic puffy face. Again, we don't know how many years ago that was. We'll do a different video about it. But it's funny how instead of actually talking about the victims, the crimes, vetting this and that, they are only focused on what the lawyer does. I do think they are trying to plant seeds for any lawyer to let them know that if you go against anybody high price or billionaire, they will rip the lawyer's life apart um, as opposed to the victims. I get If Jay-Z's innocent, I get he is furious for what he did. I would be furious if they had done that, like what happened to Blue Ivy's premiere, if he is found to be innocent. But the fact that people are acting like billionaires are like little pawns and they don't know what to do, when at the end of the day they have PR, they have media, they have this. This is what money buys you. What Alex Spiro is doing to Tony Busby. Tony Busby looks like he's just fighting back in the court, but by doing this, he is letting Diddy know that he will not be deterred and he is going to help the feds to the best of his ability expand the case and bring these charges back to 1991. Now, listen to these charges because it's wild. So he goes into Combs' businesses, this, that, and the third. You have to do this, right? They go into Diddy's history of sexual assault and violence. Okay, if you've been paying attention, you know what that is. They're saying that, of course, through the years, he's citing the other sites, saying that Combs got violent with employees, with women, with men, with children. You know, this was Diddy. Diddy was an MFer. Now get this, the parties. Plaintiff Jane Doe is a female who resides in Louisiana. Now, oddly enough, and I know we cannot say that Diddy and Jay-Z's legal teams are working in tandem, okay? Because Jay-Z said he don't even know that man. He said they were at most friendly-ish co-workers, but it was pure business. But I find it odd that this woman is coming from Louisiana. And in one day, there is Buzzbees ex Sneaky Link, which he needs to answer for that, whether he laid hands on her or not. He says he has proof it's all lies. We're waiting to see it. But also the two men suing him are coming out of Louisiana. Louisiana is also the state that lawyer Marcy for the law firm that was representing Rock Nation in Louisiana. Now, is it a coincidence? Perhaps. But for all those lawsuits to drop on the same day, you cannot tell me that don't look like a coordinated attack. You can't tell me it don't look like a conspiracy. They keep saying, oh, it's just whatever. How do 3 lawsuits that are brought by law firms that are working with Quinn Emanuel and Rock Nation, according to Tony Busby, all drop lawsuits on the same man in the same day, in the same media press? And to the point of the press has stopped talking about Diddy and this lawsuit that he bought about for the newest one he bought about for Diddy that threatens to bring anything down is by a woman in Louisiana. Again, there's a lot of similarities and parallels, right? But let's go. Again, you guys in the chat, let's be clear. I just checked it out. We don't know if there were any animals involved. Nobody has come forth and said that there were animals involved. I guess even the devil has limits. I literally just wanted to see when he said and others. I'm like, is he talking about other humans? Because you never know. Diddy, you never know. But it seems like in that context, he was talking about other humans, okay? But you never know with Diddy. So I just had to check because you never know. Also, everybody say thank you to B Crumbs for gifting a membership, y'all. Make sure y'all say thank you to B Crumbs. Thank you, B Crumbs, for gifting a membership. Okay, let's get back into this, right? So she's a woman who resides in Louisiana. And Diddy is the man who runs all these businesses. Daddy House Recordings, defendant CEO OPCO. That is Combs Global and Combs Global Enterprises. Hold on really quick, y'all. Let me just check something. Yeah, I think that, yeah, as part of the thing. Okay, so let's get into this, right? Bad Boy Books Holdings, defendants, organizational. Okay, so we're not going to go through, Diddy said, this is interesting, jurisdiction and venue. This court has subject matter jurisdiction pursuant to 28 USC because the case is in some citizens of different states in this amount of controversy. If you guys don't know, just to break it down for you guys a little bit more, a lot of people are wondering why they're going through federal court and not state court. State court, first of all, state courts, I'm not saying they are notoriously corrupt, but you can have a lot of influence in state courts. You want to get in federal court. Federal law is law that is all over the US. On top of that, with federal court, you usually get bigger judgments, and it has a tendency to catch the eyes of the prosecution. So it might be to get in federal court, you need for two things to happen. You need either for the people suing, defendant or plaintiff. The plaintiff is the one bringing the case. The defendant is the one defending himself against the case. You need the defendant and the plaintiff to live in two separate states, or you need the cause of the lawsuit to occur in a state. So let's just say I sue you for a car accident. I live in Nevada, you live in New York, and the lawsuit happened, and the car accident happened in Virginia. You typically, it's a little harder when it's just the incident that happened in that state. You usually need a few more ties to the state, but potentially the lawsuit could be filed in Nevada court, New York court, or Virginia court, because that's where the incident took place. On top of that, you need for the incident to amount to total damages of $75K or more. Once that happens, it can go into federal court. Now, why would you shop around if you're like, well, Tisa, federal court is the same law? Federal court is the same law, but it's broad rules. It's broad rules, right? It's almost like, when you go overseas and you go to McDonald's, the menu is genuinely the same. But depending on what country you're in, there's little things. Like if you go to China, the KFC in China sells calamari dipped in the KFC seasoning. Oh my God, it's so good. But they serve calamari dipped in KFC seasoning and fried, in addition to the chicken. It's something you can only get in China. Just like if you go to the McDonald's in China, they have certain things. That's kind of like what federal law is. It's very broad and it covers a lot. However, you could try to get in the most favorable state depending on, because when federal law is silent, and again, it's very broad in general. When federal law is very silent, the federal courts look to the state law for guidance. Hence, Palooza versus the Archdiocese. That said that it was a second appellate that said when SA occurs for, and this is what Tony Busby cited, when SA occurs with child victims, right? You cannot hold them to the same thing. It will let you have a 4-year window where the dates can be off. And you can be a little murky about who was there as long as you are 100% sure about who raped you. Again, we can argue all day whether you think it's fair. Eminent experts, childhood psychologists, experts on SA all say this is the fair and just thing to do. So I'm going to go by them, okay? Palooza in the second appellate was also expanded to say we will give people with cognitive impairments, right? Cognitive impairments, we will also give them the same coverage that we give as child SAs. The fact that this woman is a child SA and she has cognitive impairments, in this case, autism, again, so that's why with federal law, you would kind of want to, if you could, shop around which state fits the facts of your case better and which state you could get the best trial in. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why when you go to, because a lot of people are like, why do they keep talking about jurisdiction and venue? That's why when you go to jurisdiction and venue, why it's so important. Similarly, if you do not have the right jurisdiction or the right venue, forum, a place for the case to be, then it can be kicked out. This case can be kicked out on a technicality. Okay. Really quickly, also, I'm gonna give a shout out to Catgirl226. You said blessings to you, TT, this holiday from me, my cat Boo Boo, and my sister Melissa. Shout out to Boo Boo and Melissa. Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you so much, Catgirl. Also, Corey Irving said, we value your hard work and friendship. Thank you for everything you do. Oh, thank you so much, Corey. Your kids are so cute. Thank you so much, Corey. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get back into this lawsuit. So that's why it's always important to check the venue. And if somebody's suing you, check the jurisdiction. Flip through the lawsuit. Find the jurisdiction and venue section first, right? Find the jurisdiction and sign the jurisdiction and venue section first, because once you find that, that's what's going to, you can get a lawsuit out of it really quick if they have the wrong jurisdiction or venue. Okay, so it is in federal court. The court had specific personal jurisdiction over defendants because the acts giving rise to the plaintiff's claim took place in New York. Again, remember I said it could be where one person lives, the other person lives, plaintiff or defendant, or it's where the acts take place. Again, the acts took place in New York. And because several of the defendants are domiciled in New York State and regularly transacts business in New York. Again, remember when I said it takes more than just it occurring there? You need a couple of more ties. Here he says, what's the tie? You do business in New York. And two, you're domiciled in New York. Now, I know what y'all saying. Diddy don't have, he doesn't have a place in New York, a home. However, Diddy is in the MDC. He is currently locked up. That is the domicile. It is a domicile. The venue is proper in this district because a substantial part of the events or admissions giving rise to the claims occurred in this district, including the violent assault of plaintiffs. They want a trial by jury, which, of course, who wouldn't want a trial by jury, baby? Okay, let's get into this. Plaintiff and her friend. Who should we call the plaintiff? Should we call her Patty? Patty plaintiff? We'll call her Patty plaintiff. Patty and her female friend visited New York City in December of 1991 to spend Christmas with two of her friends who lived in the city. Damn, double homicide. Busby dropped this. Dropped this on the 1991 anniversary. He said, "Oh no, 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 no." After I did hear. We'll see if it's true. Do you think that Busby plans on dropping more lawsuits against Jay-Z on Beyonce's Super Bowl? Now, these are just rumors. We'll see if it comes out true, but we're going to be watching. We're also going to be watching Beyonce's Super Bowl performance. Plaintiff and her female friend visited New York City in December of 1991 to spend Christmas with two friends who lived in the city. After the holiday, Patty plaintiff stayed in the city to attend an event she was invited to by another acquaintance of hers, a rapper who was prominent in the industry at that time. Who is that rapper that was prominent in 1991? They're not accusing the rapper of anything, but can you give me a list of all the top 10 rappers in America in 1991 in New York City? Okay. The event was a charity basketball game occurring at City College in New York City on December 28th, 1991. Oh, Jamie says maybe it's Nas. It might be. Plaintiff and her female friend were dropped off at the event early so that they could get in to see the rapper who invited her. Really quick, there was a City College massacre in New York City, December 28th, 1991. It was a stampede. Could you let me know who were the rappers that were supposed to be headlining and who was the most notable rapper there? Cross reference that with the list of the notable rappers of 1991. Okay, sorry about that. Plaintiff and her female friend were dropped off at the event early so they could get in to see the rapper who invited her. Plaintiff recalls the crowd outside being very large and growing unruly. But once she spoke to security, she and her friend were let in ahead of the crowd. Um, mm, mm, mm. So they're saying that who's the thing? So there was Queen Latifah, Run DMC, Eric B. and Rakim from Eric B. and Rakim, Public Enemy, Nas, MC Light, LL Cool J, KRS-One, Biz Markie, and Big Daddy Kane. Who were the acts scheduled to perform at the 1991 City College stampede? Okay. So whoever it was one of the headliners. It had to be because you spoke to security and you were let in ahead of the crowd. Once inside, they're saying Heavy D was the person that headlined. So it was Heavy D, Sean Puffy Combs, Teddy Riley. He wasn't a rapper. He was the pioneer of New Jack scene. And Father MC. Heavy D was the headliner. So Heavy D was the headliner. There was Teddy Riley, who I don't think was a rapper, and Father MC. So it's either Father MC or Heavy D. That's why they were let in. Once inside, the plaintiff watched security attempt to contact her rapper friend on the radio, but was unable to. The plaintiff recalled him telling her to ask for his co-sponsor. Oh, it was Heavy D to ask for his co-sponsor of the event if no one could find him when she got there. That co-sponsor was up and coming producer by the name Puff Puppy Combs. So basically, this girl was a guest of Heavy D. Now, why is that important? It seems like Diddy was obsessed, and this is my opinion, with dating and betting his enemies or people he was jealous of or aspiring to their women. That's just my opinion. Okay. Also, at City College, there were only four people: Teddy Riley, Father MC, Heavy D. Heavy D was huge at that time, and Sean Combs. These people were let in and they're saying co-sponsors. So we're believing, based upon information and belief, that Heavy D is the person that Patty Plaintiff was invited by. Okay, so we got that out the way. We reading this real time, y'all. Let's get into this. Patty Plaintiff asked to be directed to Puffy, despite not knowing who that was. Well, again, Heavy D was the big one. She and her friend were taken to an office at the back of the locker room where Combs had a makeshift dressing room set up. He introduced himself and his bodyguard, who then stood outside the door while they talked. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know if Gene Dill was Diddy's bodyguard at that time. I did an interview with Gene Dill. Go check it out. And he actually said that City College, he remembers what happened and he remembers how everybody acted up. Again, Gene Dill might actually have some information on this. Has anybody been to Gene Dill's YouTube page lately? Let me go visit Gene Dill's page. We'll get to that later. B Crumbs, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Y'all, make sure you give a shout out to B Crumbs for gifting those memberships. Sherry Slocum, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. And Mixchip, what's up, girl? I love that, Abby. Mixchip's gifted 5 memberships. Y'all, make sure you give a big shout out to Mixshift Samantha and also B Crumbs. Thank y'all so much for gifting those memberships. Okay, let's get back into this. So these girls, based upon information and belief, were guests of Heavy D. Diddy seems to be a jealous-hearted person, or he wants to assert his authority, and that's what actually happened. Okay, where are we at? Plaintiff's friends told Diddy how excited she was. Patty Plaintiff's friends told Diddy how excited she was to be there and how much she wanted to meet some of the other celebrities. After mentioning her favorite rapper, Diddy said he would take her to see him, and Patty Plaintiff should stay and keep waiting for Myers. So Myers, that has to be Heavy D. Hold on. What's rapper Heavy D's full name? Yep. All right. So yeah, thank you, Busby. Dwight Arrington Myers. Dwight Arrington Myers. So this girl was a special guest of Heavy D. Again, I'm interested to see now, because she is a Jane Doe, whether she was Heavy D's girlfriend, whether they dated seriously. Because if they did, this gives more credibility to what she's saying. And if she dated Heavy D and dated him seriously, this gives more credence to the fact of she knows a lot of people in the rap industry, and there will be a lot of character weaknesses that she can actually bring in. It also makes me think that she knows a lot of the rap industry gossip. Okay. Anyway, all right. So anyway, somebody else mentioned their favorite rapper. Their favorite rapper, the only other people there was Father MC. Teddy Riley was not really a rapper, but whatever. So he had somebody take them to go see either Father MC or whatever. So again, now there's 2 people placing them at the scene. The bodyguard, who I strongly suggest is Gene Dill. Gene Dill was not in the room. They said that he stepped outside the room while this is all happening. Patty Plaintiff did so, but Myers did not arrive, right? So Diddy suggested that he said that, yo, I'll take you to see Heavy D, right? And told Patty Plaintiff, yo, just stay right here. And as soon as I'm done, I'll take you to go see him, right? So she did. She stayed with Diddy. But Heavy D never came to the dressing room. Diddy returned with a plastic cup full of what he purported to be Coca-Cola. Plaintiff drank some of it, but did not finish it as she did not like the taste. Now, I've never been roofied before or taken and I don't mean to make that laugh, or taken GHMB, but can you taste it? I heard that you put it in champagne because when there's bubbles in champagne, you can't really taste it. Champagne tastes like crap to me anyway, so whatever. So okay, so with each paragraph, we're getting a clear image of what happened. So he told her, she was like, yo, I'm waiting for Heavy D. It was her and her friend. Diddy started talking to the friend, being like, yo, who you like? Who you like? And she's like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan of Father MC and or Teddy Riley. And he was like, word, yo, and he called someone in to go take her, Patty Playton's friend, to go and talk to a different rapper. Okay, fine. Then she was like, yo, well, I'm here to see like Heavy D. And he was like, yo, listen, why don't you just hang out? I'm gonna go get him and bring him back to my dressing room. And she said, all right. So she hung out in the dressing room because, it's crowded and, she looking to see her baby. And Diddy came back, but he didn't have Heavy D with him. He literally had only a cup filled with Coca-Cola. Okay. I guess the girl said she didn't drink, so he got that Coca-Cola. Plaintiff begun to feel woozy and attempted to leave to find her rapper friend on her own. Diddy blocked her exit. He told her she needed to stay, and this is when she noticed he was touching himself in a suggestive manner. He began to fondle Plaintiff and overpowered her when she struggled. Diddy removed her and began maloloing her for climbing on top of her and blankety blanketing her. Shortly after the assault began, Diddy was called to the door by the bodyguard who was standing watch on the other side of it. Again, I don't know why I think this bodyguard is Gene Deal. Diddy came back and told Plaintiff he had to go deal with something. Patty Plaintiff told Diddy what he did was not right. And she needed to tell her rapper friend because she was there to see him and did not want him to think that she had sex with Diddy willingly. Again, this leads me to believe this woman might have been like someone that he dated for a minute, but we'll see. Diddy told her that she should not do that because people can come up missing, and that Heavy D would never know. Patty Plaintiff waited in the room for a short period to gather herself and make sure that Combs was not returning, then took the opportunity to leave. The scene outside was chaotic. There were people packed into the building and running in every direction. Plaintiff spent about half an hour looking for her friend before finding an exit. Plaintiff eventually found her friend, and the two of them made it to a phone to call for a ride home. All right, so listen, why is this so important? Well, it puts Gene Deal at the scene, not in the room. I do not think that Gene Deal was a part of it, but he can corroborate what happened at City College. And let me just tell you something. The interview I did with Gene Deal, he remembers City College very, very well. He remembers where everybody was, what he was doing. Gene is as sharp as a pair of knives. You have somebody with a great memory who already is saying everything he knows about Diddy actually captured in the lawsuit. On top of that, you have plaintiff and the friend. So if you can corroborate the friend, on top of that, and this is the part that's just really weird and sick. While the City College massacre was going on, Diddy was busy graping someone. I don't understand how this man had this much stamina. I don't understand how this man had that much action to really be graping someone well, I guess he didn't know City College was going to actually happen. But it's funny how every time Diddy had a free moment, he was graping someone. Now, let me really quick go over the causes of actions because I actually think that this is um, uh, I actually think that the causes of action are really important in this one because usually the statute of limitations, but there is no statute of limitations when it comes to whatever. I will say that this is a market departure from the Busby special. I know everybody thinks that Tony Busby got bullied out of the law game, but he didn't. This lawsuit shows that he means business. It is simple, it is straight to the point. He knows right now that Alex Sparrow and Diddy's team are trying to get him sanctioned, much like they tried to get Tyrone Blackburn sanctioned for Little Rod's lawsuit. As a matter of fact, the judge laughed at their attempt to get Tyrone Blackburn sanctioned. But so funny, the media was huge in reporting Blackburn's going to get sanctioned. I don't think there's anything behind this. And all this, I'm piling on top of a young black lawyer while they were saying that Diddy's being discriminated against because he a black man, right? But um at the end of the day, they literally embarrassed Blackburn. And they had a lot of people on TikTok, on Twitter, on everyone trying to act like Little Rod's case wasn't this and that. I did an interview with Little Rod too. Go ahead and check it out on my channel. Trying to act like it wasn't this or it wasn't that. When at the end of the day, those sanctions turned out to be nothing. The judge said this does not rise to the level of sanctions. And you can't say that he even thought that he was doing anything wrong because he followed the letter of the court. So what's going on? It is what it is. By Busby keeping this so sparse and only the bare facts, he knows that they're going to be trying to come and sanction him. He knows that they're coming for his head, so he is not giving them an inch that they could go after. Busby is in full on war mode right now. Okay. Let's get into what else they're saying. The first call to action: violation of New York City Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act. Okay, that's a good one. What else do we see? They said by, yeah. Okay, so that was the grape. So, okay, this is only under the violation of Relations Act. Okay, so listen, I have something else to read too. Let me just get into this while we're into this. But it's violation. Also, Doa Collins said, did he sacrifice those people in that event? You know what? I have heard that, Doa, that it was some type of sacrifice. Listen, we can't go as far as to say because who knows, right? On one hand, I've always wanted to laugh at that stuff. But on the other hand, Sammy Davis Jr. was a known Satanist. Let's not act like there aren't people that worship the devil. And let's not act like certain celebrities somehow think that they were ordained by God to be celebrities. Like, oh, God bless me, God touched me. But if you look at the way a lot of celebrity lives end, you need to ask like, what God was that? You know what I'm saying? But they somehow think they were ordained by God. All this stuff happened. So I could see with celebrity, and it's like a drug, people being so desperate to keep that power that they're willing to do anything. Let's also not forget that Gene Dill himself, and though again, we can neither confirm nor deny that, but I will say this, right? Gene Dill himself actually said, I believe it was Gene Dill, that during the J-Lo Diddy trial, that Diddy stopped in Central Park, met up with some man that looked like a shaman or something that had doves or chicken. I think it was a dove. And they sacrificed a bird right before he went to get his sentencing for the, well, went to go see the jury verdict for the J-Lo Shine whole case. And when he got to that court, the jury said he was not guilty and convicted Shine to 10 years. Now, hear me out on this, right? Did that work? I don't know. But if you are superstitious and you do something like that and you get off on the charges, would you not do it again? I mean, honestly, would you not do it again? I mean, some people would. Some people would. Also really quickly, J-Lo, who was it? J-Lo's first ex, I believe it was, her first ex-husband, said that J-Lo used to make him and them go to Santeria rituals to help cleanse the negative energy between them, to hold the marriage together. And he said that he was involved in that, and J Lo's involved in that. And on top of that, there was this odd article where they said Ben Affleck's actually very superstitious too, and thinks that J Lo believes like in all that other stuff too. So it's just something to think about. Okay, it's just something to actually think about. So again, oh, also Jessica Taylor. Jessica Taylor said, "I saw the Hollywood Reporter." Oh, thank you, Jessica. She had said, "Thank you so much. Love the Abby." Said, "I saw the Hollywood Reporter. I knew you could do it." Listen, well, hopefully we're just getting started. 2025 is going to be a very blessed year. Y'all bullied me even to getting a new mic. Like y'all literally bullied me, but it's okay because bullying is caring. Now, interestingly enough, and also Res Q said, appreciate your hard work and fair mindedness. Thank you so much, Res Q. I appreciate that. And also, Somerset Tisa, exactly. They were ordained by the devil for real. Because that's the funny thing. These people that be like, y'all was ordained by God to be famous. God bless me. And I'm like, but look at your life. Do you really think God like brought you there to be torn down to marry the devil? It just literally looks like, I don't know, like what God gave it to you. I'm not saying God doesn't make people famous, but I do know that a lot of people, just hearing their interviews, they somehow start to think that they are touched by an angel because they are exposed to this celebrity life. Now, interestingly enough, when it comes to that, and everything, there's some stuff that actually happened with Alex Spiro. Interestingly enough, that I do want to actually cover because Alex Spiro has been running a great campaign. Again, I can look at law and look at it like a sports game. Alex has been running a great campaign against who is it? Against uh Busby. However, it seems like even the US Attorney's Office has stepped in and they're tired of his BS and they wanted to stop. They think that this trying things in the court of public opinion has just gotten a little much and they 100% want this to stop. Where are we at? Let me just find this really quick while we talk about this. Again, I think it's very odd that the U.S. attorney spoke out about Alex Sparrow uh, and what they're doing, the way that he is putting 20 on 10. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Let me pull this up. It's just going to be 1 second. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Sherry Contour and Valerie Renee, for actually sending me this. Okay, get this. The feds chided defense attorney Alex Spiro for extrajudicial comments, but this is in New York City Eric Adams' case. Now, why is this important? I said a couple of months back that I think Diddy's going to go for a federal pardon. I heard that Diddy's going to try to get a federal pardon. Now, we can argue on whether Trump or Biden would pardon Diddy. However, Elon Musk is very, very close to Trump. Elon Musk and Diddy, I can't say they're friends. They have a working relationship because if Jay-Z is not friends with Diddy, well, Elon Musk is just a working relationship. But the point of this matter is they're super, super tight. Jay-Z has motion. There's Beyonce. Trump is like obsessed with, in my opinion, really, really wants Beyonce to perform at something. I don't know why. I think Melania is probably a huge Beyonce fan. I'm not even joking. And even if neither of them would do it, Trump or Biden, that doesn't mean that Diddy wouldn't try. Diddy is shameless. He has shown us he's shameless. He will do anything he can to actually get ahead. So I think it's really, really naive for everybody to be like, oh my God, he never tried for that. Why wouldn't he? I would. I would. People that don't even got a penny to their name right in to actually get some type of clemency from the government. Also, Cassie Joe said, I'm so happy and so fortunate to have discovered you, Tisa. Oh, Cozy Joe, thank you. I'm so happy that we actually found each other. You make me laugh. You educate me on so many topics, making them accessible for. Thank you. Oh, Cozy, thank you. Y'all, thank you so much. You guys keep me honest half the time. And by honest, I mean the mic, the this, the that. We are a family, and I really do appreciate you guys being honest with me and always giving me your real honest feedback. And again, we're trying to cultivate conversations and give blogging a good name. To give blogging a good name, you know? So anyway, with this whole thing with the Alex Sparrow thing, why is that important? Because Trump said, I'll put it in a different video, but there's a news clip where Trump said he would absolutely consider pardoning Mayor Eric Adams. Mayor Eric Adams has the same lawyer that Diddy does, which is Alex Sparrow. Your lawyer is the one that drafts up any papers when you are asking for a pardon. Again, you talk to the pardon team, you do this. If the presidential office is really interested in it, again, it's another pathway that if, I'm sorry, Alex Sparrow is not Diddy's lawyer, he's Jay-Z's lawyer, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's another pathway to get in there. Again, Jay-Z, close business associate, Elon Musk, they bought Twitter, this and that, blah, 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 blah. There's enough connections that Diddy wouldn't try to. And if you people, and the people that think it won't happen, I just want to say this. If people will sit there and pull a favor from their mothers, sisters, cousins, ex-boyfriends, sister, whose uncle twice removed to pass a resume in to get a job, why, if you weren't facing like life in jail, wouldn't you pass on that same mess? I would. It's worth a shot. Anyway, the feds are getting sick of Alex Sparrow. I think also, and this is just my opinion, I think that also they realize that Alex Sparrow is weakening Busby. And if you weaken Busby, I think that weakens the federal case just a little bit from public perception. They said since the unsealing of the indictment in this case, defense counsel has repeatedly made false public statements about the facts and evidence in this case. Prosecutors claimed of Quinn Emanuel Urquhart's and Sullivan's partner. They said federal prosecutors want a judge to urge New York City Mayor Eric Adams' lawyer, Alex Sparrow, to pipe down. This is directly from law.com, claiming Alex Sparrow is crossing the line in his out of court statements about the charges against his client. This seems to be Alex's strategy. You try to mediate it in the court of public opinion. Why is that so smart? Because as much as y'all don't want to believe me, they got PR people. They got Olivia Pope. They got money. They got blogs running stuff. They have a whole industry in place to take people down. They said since the unsealing of the indictment in this case, the defense counsel has repeatedly made false public statements about the facts and evidence in this case. Those statements, including that the public corruption case is contrived, are in violation of Local Criminal Rule 23.1. Under that rule, lawyers and firms are duty bound not to make public comments that have a likelihood of interfering in a fair trial. Prosecutors accused Alex Sparrow of a laundry list of violations since the case went public, including comments he recently made to the New York Times after U.S. District Judge Dale Ho in the Southern District of New York declined to dismiss the bribery count against Adams. Alex Sparrow said, look, it took several months for the court to unwind its legal theories, questioning several of them in its ruling, and proving the point that this case was simply invented to harm Mayor Adams and not about justice at all. He told the Times in an article published on Tuesday. Prosecutors say Alex Sparrow's extrajudicial statements broadly fall into two categories: that the case isn't real and only cobbled together for government amusement, and that the credibility of prospective witnesses is lacking. Again, Alex Sparrow's a beast in jail, but I'm sure you guys can see the credibility and of the U.S. Attorney's Office, but the parallels as to what they're saying that they are doing in the Eric Adams case is the same thing that he's doing in the Jay-Z case. It's the same thing that it looks like Diddy's lawyers are taking heed of and also doing with this. Again, when he attacks Tony Busby, he's attacking Diddy. And again, I do want to say this. If Busby is found to be a liar, I 100% see why Jay-Z is doing everything, rip his life apart. But the fact that we are now having a judge and jury on whether this woman is telling the truth when the case actually is moving forward and the case has not, and I believe will not be dismissed, well, it is what it is. The U.S. Attorney's Office goes on to say, defense counsel knows the statements are false. Prosecutors claim, um, one second. Prosecutors claim that defense counsel knows that these claims are actually false because Alex Spiro is now in possession of discovery outlining their evidence. Additionally, allegations of select prosecution should be litigated in the court and not in press. They say Mayor Adams, like every criminal defendant, is entitled to a zealous defense. His counsel is free to make arguments about the indictment, the evidence, or the government's witnesses to the court. Defense counsel has instead chosen to litigate this case in press statements where he can simply pretend certain facts don't exist, exactly what local criminal rule 23.1 rightly precludes. The letter asks the judge to direct defense counsel to comply with the rule. Now, here's the thing. Alex Spiro, being the legal eagle he is, said he was glad the government raised the issue and repeated claims that federal prosecutors had leaked information in order to taint the mayor. Again, I'm not saying they're working with Diddy's attorneys. I am saying that this is almost play per play what Diddy's attorneys are accusing the government of doing in Diddy's case too. And in that case, the government came back and said, absolutely not. And the judge actually said there's no proof. But at the end of the day, just like when Tyrone Blackburn was under trial for sanction, it was loud when it came out. And it was very, 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 very quiet when the charges against Tyrone Blackburn got dismissed, and also very, very quiet when the judge came out and said, there is zero proof that anything was leaked. So what are you talking about? Um, he said the press conference is a choice prior administrations not only did not make, they avoided to prevent potential prejudice against defendants, especially elected officials. You're trying to say that because they had a press conference, I don't know, as long as I've been alive, whenever a big person, especially the mayor of a city, is indicted, they have a press conference explaining what happened. Spiro also noted that the indictment contained photos and blasted prosecutors' continued assertions that a superseding indictment may be forthcoming, as creating more prejudice toward his client. Again, there's so many parallels to Diddy. What the defense has said here in public pales in comparison. The government used to hold itself to a higher standard. They've let us all down. I'll say one thing about Alex Spiro. He is not afraid. He's letting them know this is my town. I'm running. They said the mayor was indicted in September on bribery, campaign finance, and conspiracy offenses. Prosecutors allege that Mayor Adams solicited and accepted bribes in the form of luxury perks and illegal campaign contributions in exchange for access to its influence. He's pleaded not guilty to all charges, this, that, and the third. Now get this. Adams was previously expected to appear in Manhattan federal court on Friday for a status conference, but the judge granted the defense request an adjournment until January 20th, 2025. Listen to this. The defense request followed a news conference statement by President-elect Donald Trump, who will be inaugurated on January 20th, that he would consider a pardon of New York City Mayor Adams. The mayor is now due back in court the week of January 27th. The trial has been scheduled to start in April, 1 month before Diddy. In April, 1 month before Diddy. I don't know, y'all. Listen, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? I don't know. Now, listen, let me just say this, and it needs to be said about the Buzzbee case. With this tying things back to 1991, I feel like it was more of a warning or a threat to Diddy. One thing that has really interested me about this, and one thing I think we all need to keep in mind, whether this case goes forward, it doesn't matter because it gives the prosecution more information. I do believe that Jane Doe case with the girl does have plausibility and will move forward. Now, whether he'll be found guilty or not, Diddy, we will see. For this case, the 1991 Jane Doe case, this is the last sobering note, and you need to know that sometimes the law is a game, right? The new Busby case, there is a chance that it will be dismissed because the case is too old. I know. I wanted to save this news for the last thing. Not the Jane Doe with the VMAs, but this 1991 case, okay? The case is too old, all right? That law was the law that they're doing, the Gender Motivated Violence Act, was not a law yet in the 1990s, okay? The Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Act became law in 2001, and the law is not retroactive. So, therefore, it is untimely, and there's a chance that it will get dismissed unless there's a different hook in there. It is untimely and it will get dismissed. Again, I say all to say it seemed like Busby was sending a warning to Diddy. I do want to say that with the warning to Diddy, and this goes, Alex Spiro is eating Tony Busby up alive in the media. Alex Spiro needs to just leave Quinn Emanuel and start his own legal firm because, baby, he literally is conquering. Him, Blackburn, Wigdor can get together and do Spiro, Wigdor, Blackburn, or however they mix up those names. And I get why he sent this warning and a threat to Diddy's team. But I do think that just off of the Jane Doe case, where it looked like it wasn't thoroughly vetted, okay? And now moving into this 1991 case, which is very significant for prosecution. But as far as the victim, the Gender Motivated Violence Act doesn't seem to be retroactive, so it could be dismissed as untimely unless he has some new law actually linking it. I don't know if doing this to make a point was the exact thing that Alex Spiro needs right now when his credibility is seriously under question. Again, I gotta wonder who is running the Busby law firm, because again, I get why they're doing it, but you literally have given them an in again to attack your name, your character, and whatever. You know what? Yeah. Again, a lot of doors have been opened. The Jay-Z accusation doors have been open. Jay-Z is fighting like hell with Alex Spiro to not just shut the door, but to weld it shut. The Diddy accusation floodgates have opened, okay? But also a new way of doing law and trying attorneys have been opened on the other side. And just fresh off of that embarrassment of Jane Doe, whether you believe Jay-Z is guilty or not, that case they filed, the vetting he did, and the way he let his client sit with NBC News while they ripped her apart, it was embarrassing. It was sloppy. And it doesn't matter whether another law firm did it or not. That's Busby's name. And when you are a attorney, names, pedigree, all that matters. So I say all this to say, right? I say all this to say we need to keep an eye out on this. And we also just need to keep in mind that everybody is kind of playing dirty. For one side to say you playing dirty, against the other side, everybody's playing dirty. With this type of law, it is the sandbox. This isn't fisticuffs and, oh, I promise you, I challenge you to a dare, governor, right? To a duel, governor. This isn't fisticuffs, right? Right? This isn't a war of attrition. This is guerrilla warfare where they play dirty all the time. It just makes me look at Tony Busby's office. Again, I feel like if this 1991 case is dismissed because it is untimely, I think that's going to be strike two. And if Tony Busby makes one more misstep, I do believe that people will start taking the Diddy cases less and less seriously because, again, things spread. There may be a way that he could save it, but it is, in fact, it there it is, in fact, untimely. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that concerns me and worries me here. I feel like everybody is so in their ego, they're getting sloppy. Jay-Z Twitter fingering off of the Rock Nation Instagram thing, right? It to me, it made him look like, what is going on? This is so out of character. This is so weird bringing in Rock Nation. It really made me be like, what's going on with Rock Nation? What do they know is coming down the road? And what are they trying to prevent? That whole lie about Jay-Z not knowing Diddy, again, what are you up to? Right? But again, we can be fair and say on the Busby side, you filed you filed a lawsuit that you did not personally vet. You put a client in front of NBC News for what I think is a hit piece journalism. But even if it was a hit piece, they weren't gotcha questions. The girl, the story she told was the same story she told in the filing. It just so happened that nobody vetted it to make sure that the years actually matched, right? And if you knew that the years actually matched, why were didn't match and you didn't vet it? How are you threatening someone and trying to force them to settle when you didn't vet anything? Now, I know there's an explanation for this, but I'm just saying from it looks bad, right? And now you file a second lawsuit, which the Gender Violence and Motivation Act is not retroactive. So there's a good chance that this will be dismissed as untimely. And you're doing it to flex and show Diddy you know all his dirt. But again, I feel like they're trying to make you seem like you are not credible in the public. Again, the Jane Doe, the way he left his client out to dry, that was the first strike one. You guys should have bettered her, had her, that literally shut down the interview of something that makes sense, or at least research her story. And again, there's ways that the story can actually work out. That's, I did a whole live stream about that. But that doesn't mean that your lawyer shouldn't have protected you from looking stupid. Then we have this Jane Doe for 1991, which may be dismissed as untimely. Again, I don't think and I'm just saying this off the top of my head. We'll see. I do not believe the violence, gender motivated violence. I do not believe that is that it's retroactive, and it was established in 2001. So this is dismissed. That's more egg on your face. I feel like you got one more time before the public just rolls their eyes at anything that Tony Busby brings case, right? It's not a retroactive law, okay? Again, like I said, I think he's filing this case and this emergency filing as a hit piece against Diddy, right? And maybe they're hoping Diddy's lawyers won't catch it, but Mark Agnifilio, Yana, they'll catch it, right? The case is old and right. Listen, the look back law, which I think he's hoping to go under, it does not reach back under the victims of gender motivated, blah, 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 right? You know, listen, thank you so much. I'm trying my best to hold my own between Blackburn, Wig Dirt, and Alex Spiro on this case, baby. I've been researching all weekend. Again, I just think that this is egg on Tony. I hope this doesn't turn into egg on Tony Busby's face. What do I know? I'm not in the big dogs. I just hope it doesn't turn into egg on his face with that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, right? Also, really quick, I just had to say that because I'm here for the itch and giggles, but I don't know. I just feel like everybody needs to start operating differently, and Busby only has one more time. We'll see what happens with this case. Again, I'm not the premier eminent expert on legal stuff. I'm just giving my opinion on the gender motivated act, okay? Muffle Muffin, thank you so much for the super chat. Muffle Muffin said Jay-Z is a master manipulator. How was he 24 years ago? Listen, I mean, he bagged Beyonce. Nikki said, please smash that like button. Also, y'all, please smash that like button. Again, we're willing to see who is up. We do not know if Jay-Z is guilty. We do not know if Jay-Z is innocent. That is going to be something that has to move forward in court. However, when you have someone like Alex Spiro, who is a masterful lawyer, trying this in the court of public opinion, these things 100% matter, especially because you're not trying to have them in the court in Texas or in whatever. You're trying them in New York City. Alex Spiro knows the jury pool in New York City. He knows New York City. I think that's why he's getting paid the big bucks. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, you guys, listen, let me get out of here. I'm going to post a few more videos tonight. Please check them out. Also, really quick, please go support that article. The link is in the description box with the Hollywood Reporter. I would very much appreciate it. Go on and follow Shirley Halperin on Instagram just because she like, yes. Also, you, the 100%ers, if you guys really want to support ethical music, music that is cruelty free, please make a donation. If you can't, just follow on Instagram or follow Tiffany Red, Lola J Yum. Again, holiday time. I've been really into her cooking videos, especially if you want a marathon put on in the background while you're getting ready or whatever. And also, Sweet Tea, one of my favorite new people on YouTube. She's just fun. She's moving past like the reality thing, and she's getting into just showing her personality. Her videos are so fun, so well done. I need to find her editor because chef's kiss, right? Um, yeah. Listen, somebody says, real as it is, says, I have a friend in the industry. He says the industry is falling. The industry is falling, but the thing is they're falling, but because sales are down, money are down, that whole narrative they fed us, nobody likes. Like, I get it. I get it. The perks of my, I can't feel my, I get it. But at a certain point, it's become so just, right? It's so detached from what anybody wants of any age, whether you 18, whether you 25, whether you 35, whether you 45, 55, 65, it don't matter. 75, 85. It's so detached from what people want. Okay. No, nobody got money for $800 concert tickets, or if they do, let's hope they got money for it. Nobody has money for crazy concert tickets. The industry has become super greedy. They're not really giving anything new or innovative. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. The industry is falling, but when they fall, they want to make sure they're not held accountable. And that's the part where I have to step in and be like, yeah, not on my watch, because yeah, something's got to give. Anyway, you guys, right? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. The links to everything I described are in the description box to make it easy for you. And I will talk to y'all later. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.